Welcome to the Lancer Science Channel. This is Mr. Anderson, and today I'm here to present to you karyotyping. This is an important idea in genetics, and I'm going to show you why. But to do that, we're going to start out with a story. Our story begins inside a cell. So here on our screen we have a cell, and we also can see that we have chromosomes, which are inside the nucleus. If you notice with these chromosomes, there are 23 of them, and they don't have a partner. This tells me two important things. First, this tells me that I'm looking at a sex cell. A sex cell is also known as a gamete. There are two types of gametes. You know them as an egg cell or ovum, or a sperm cell. So all of these cells have one copy of the chromosomes that make up a human. In genetics, there's a special word we use to express this. This word is called haploid. So on our screen, we can see that haploid is on there, and there are only one type of cells in humans that are haploid. Those are the sex cells, again called gametes, and it could be either an egg cell, or better known as an ovum, or a sperm cell. So let's continue our story. One day, a female haploid, an ovum, meets a male haploid, a sperm. You can see the female haploid cell, the ovum, is much bigger than the male haploid cell, the sperm. And when these two come together, a magical thing happens called fertilization. Notice that in each of these gametes, there are 23 chromosomes. 23 in the ovum came from a mother, 23 in the sperm came from the father. And when these meet, our fertilization has occurred. During fertilization, these cells go from having 23 chromosomes, haploid, to now having two sets of 23 chromosomes. 23 and 23, that makes 46 chromosomes. So now our chromosomes each have a partner. So here's our karyotype. Karyotypes are very important in genetics. It's one of the first ways we can try and figure out whether a person is healthy or not. Let's look at some of the things we can see in this karyotype. First, all of our chromosomes now have a partner. There's a particular word they use in genetics for this. It's called a homologous chromosome. That's where each chromosome has a partner. Because each chromosome has a partner, this is not a haploid set. Remember, a haploid is where there's one set of chromosomes to make up a human. Well, now we have two. Each chromosome has two chromosomes present. This is called a diploid. So, whether a chromosome is haploid or diploid is a question known as ploidy. When we say what's a cell's ploidy, we want to know how many sets of chromosomes are present. Because there are two, this would be diploid. The other topic we need to talk about are a difference in these chromosomes. Not all of these chromosomes carry the same kinds of genetic information. Remember, all of these chromosomes are in the nucleus of a cell. Each chromosome is a strand of DNA. That strand of DNA contains genes. Each chromosome is made of hundreds to thousands of genes. Each gene Each gene, that is made up of these things called nucleic acids. When they partner up, we call them base pairs. They're the A's, T's, G's, and C's that make up life. On this karyotype, you can see that they're organized by size. The first chromosome's the largest, and the smallest chromosomes are down at the bottom. They're number 22 is smaller than all the rest. There's only one chromosome smaller than that, and we'll talk about it in a few. So chromosomes 1 through 22 are known as autosomes. Autosomes code for a body part not dealing with sex. This is different from the 23rd pair of chromosomes. These chromosomes are known as sex chromosomes. So the chromosomes I've highlighted in red are our sex chromosomes. And these sex chromosomes code for sexual traits. Now you'll notice in our picture there are two different possibilities. There's XX, which is female, or there's XY, which is male. Now, we're going to recognize that XX might make you female in sex, but it might not be your gender. The same thing is true for XY. XY may make you physically a male, even though that may not be your recognized gender. So this would be considered a normal karyotype. I want to show you a karyotype that would be considered abnormal, though. So here's our abnormal karyotype, and right away I know a few things. I know I'm looking at a diploid cell, so this is a cell from the body. We call that somatic. I can also see when I look down at where the 23rd pair of chromosomes would be, that I have two X chromosomes. So I know this person is female in body type. But I can also see in this area circled in red that I have 3 chromosomes where I only want there to be 2. That means this person has an abnormality called trisomy 21. You may know this as Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a genetic condition caused by having an extra 21st chromosome. There's nothing that could have been done to prevent this from happening. The trisomy actually occurred either in the mother's egg cell, the ovum, or the father's sperm cell before they even left those individuals' bodies. So I'm going to leave you today trying to clear up a misconception. A lot of times young people feel like having more chromosomes would make you extra better or stronger, but having extra chromosomes is the way that most learning disabilities happen in individuals. Extra chromosomes present extra genetic information that our bodies just don't know how to deal with. So, ideally, you'd want to have a person with a normal karyotype, which is 23 homologous chromosomes, otherwise known as 46 chromosomes making up the human genome. Thank you, and you've been watching the Lancer Science Channel with Mr. Anderson.